Here we go.
Hey,
Here
what's
we
up, Jay?
go. Here we go. What's
How you
up,
doing,
Willie
man?
man? How you doing?
How you doing?
No, I'm all right, man. What's going on with you, man?
Not much, man.
Not
Just
much,
here.
man.
You
Just
see, I
here.
got my jacket
I got
on.
my
It's a little
jacket
cold
on.
in
It's
the
a little
house.
cold in
I'm
the
up at
house.
the
I'm up at the
on the top of the house.
Yeah.
We
top
don't
of the
have a
house.
lot of
We don't have
insulation up here, so it's
insulation up
a little
here, so it's
frigid.
a little frigid.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Adi,
but Adi,
I'm Jay Hadwin,
I'm
brand
Jay Hadwin,
ambassador
brand
of our
ambassador
brother
of
spot.
our brother spot.
This is our senior
This is
web
our
developer,
senior web
Willie,
developer, Willie,
for my brother
for
spot
my
and
brother spot and
Afrobiz World.
Afrobiz World.
How you doing, Willie?
How you doing, Willie?
I'm doing okay, man. I'm happy to be here, man. It's been a minute.
In a minute, it has,
It
it
has,
has, brother.
it has, brother.
And I appreciate
And I
you,
appreciate
coming by tonight
coming by tonight
and not looking at
and
no
not looking
football,
at
and
no
we just gonna
football.
get
And
it
we
in
just
tonight.
gonna get it in tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I just basically watched the Super Bowl and that's it.
Mm,
Mm.
I'm a basketball guy, man. So yeah.
that's crazy.
But
I
you know,
only watch the
Crazy. I
Super
only
Bowl
watch the
too,
Super
and I
Bowl too,
only
and I
watch
only watch
baseball finals,
baseball final,
like
yeah,
NBA,
like
NLB,
NLB,
NBL, or whatever they
NBL,
say.
or whatever they say.
NBA, yeah, I'll be on
NBA,
that.
yeah, I'll be on that.
yeah, yeah. No, I love the
But
NBA.
yeah,
But yeah,
so
so
and
and
you're up in Canada,
you're
and
up in Canada, and I
wanted to ask you
wanted to ask
some
you
questions
some questions
tonight,
Yeah.
and we could just go
and we
in
could just go
and
in
talk about
and
some
talk about
things, what's
some
going on
things,
in
what's
the
going
current,
on in the
and
current, and
economy.
economy.
What do you
Yeah.
think about
What do
what
you think
ICE
about
is
what
doing
ICE
right
is
now,
doing right now,
and the current
and
push
the
around
current push around
immigration enforcement?
immigration
I mean,
enforcement?
how do you feel about
How
that?
do you feel about that?
Well, considering that I travel in and out the United States from time to time, uh, I'm not gonna
Mm,
tell you how I feel about everything, but I mean, you know what, man? I think that immigration enforcement is important, right? Okay,
mm,
and I've lived in countries where I've seen how immigration enforcement was done. So I've lived in the U.S., I've lived in France, which at some point also had, a lot of quote unquote illegal immigrants. The reason why I say quote unquote is just because um, you know, I mean, we can go a little bit in detail on that, but essentially, people that are not supposed to be there overstay their visa. I don't think that they should have the options to stay in the country if they ran their course. They overstay their visa and stuff like that. Okay. However, people overstaying their visa in the United States, I don't think it's something new. I think something as far as 40, 50, 60 years ago, people were doing it, right? And
right.
they had a process. Right. They had a process in place to to deport people, because when you're deporting people, it doesn't have to be inhumane. Most people who overstay their visa know they have overstayed their visa, so when it comes time for them to leave, if they don't leave on their own, then what ICE used to do, or immigration enforcement, is to go to your home that we know that you live at, or go maybe to somewhere like to your home, or an address that where you're supposed to live. And a lot of time they know it, because if you overstay your visa, you had a visa, you probably did fingerprints, you probably did some things that where they know exactly who you are, so they don't have to be on the street chasing random people when they know exactly who the people who overstay their visa, who these people are, right?
Right.
So like, for example, the official number of undocumented. And the reason why I was saying illegal in quote unquote earlier, because illegal in itself, a person cannot be illegal because it's a person, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be undocumented, but you can't be illegal because you're a person. Like, how can you be illegal, right? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That
Anyway,
makes
Exactly.
sense.
That
And then
makes sense. And then everybody,
like even overseas,
even
as
overseas,
a veteran, I
as
have
a
two
veteran,
pressed overseas.
pressed overseas,
People
people
always,
always,
stay longer than their
stay
visas,
longer than their visas.
and that's in Southeast
That's in
Asia,
Southeast Asia,
everywhere. A lot of people
everywhere.
do.
A lot of people.
I think you should leave at the end of your visa, and if you don't, then they can enforce it by basically, going to your home, like I was saying, and make you leave. But in this particular situation with ICE, what I find very interesting, first of all, what people don't talk about is how ICE is disrupting, a lot of business activity. Right, like I was watching in Minnesota. There's a street where there's um, a lot of business owners who have restaurants and stuff like that, but some of them are like Latinos, even some black owned businesses, you know, Somalian businesses. And the reason I'm saying Somalian, first of all, I don't believe that an entire community can be scammers. I don't believe that. Now, there are some communities that have more scammers than other communities, right? But for example, as a black person, when you walk into a store and people think that you're trying to steal, that's stupid, because yes, of course there are some black people that are thieves, but you can't put a whole community and say that they're like the whole entire community is scamming, right? If because in the United States, they have a justice system which we hope functions properly, so you can go after these people. You can go after the people that are causing the issue and incarcerate those people. I'm all for that, but don't
But
go on the
it's
street.
the random stuff. That's
The whole random stuff
really-
doesn't make sense. Here's some numbers. Let's say there's 18 million undocumented people in the United States. 18 million. Okay, and nobody says how they became undocumented. Nobody says how the actual immigration system works in the U.S. If you talk to a lot of paralegals and lawyers in the immigration arena, they will tell you, and I know that because, hey, my family, a lot of my family immigrated to the U.S., so they will tell you the system itself is not functioning properly, right? But that's not a reason to be undocumented in the country. However, they say there's 18 million undocumented people, but there's 340 million people in the United States. So if you do the math, okay, we're talking about 5%, maybe 4.7% of the population that's actually undocumented. Now, that population of, how do they know there's 18 million? Because, like I say, a lot of them know, because these people had visas before. There's very few people. It's not as many people as people think that just cross over the Rio Grande swimming. It's not that much percentage of the actual undocumented people. Most undocumented people came on the plane. They had their visa stamped on there, and they just didn't leave. So we know who these people are. Now, if ICE is on the street, if I was undocumented, okay, why would I be on the street? I probably won't be on the street, right?
I know.
So it's fair to say that, out of the 18 million, there's probably half of them don't even go outside, or for some reason, or they try to hide, right? Okay. So that leaves what, 2-3%? 2-3%. So anybody you see on the street, that's 2 or 3% that are actually undocumented. So why would you send thousands of agents on the street and go randomly
Those are
after
like
people?
three. They
Because-
need 3,000 people detained. What is it? A day?
So this is what I heard, right, on the news and different outlets, that the ICE target is about 3,000 people a day, right? And for me, I find that to be a really weird target, considering that who's in the country illegally,
Anyway.
or who's undocumented. You have the list of those people, right? So so that being said, I think that enforcing immigration laws is important for a country. I'm in Canada. Same thing is going on in Canada. There's a lot of people being deported right now, but you would know. You would know, because we don't got random people walking on the street with masks to snatch people. We don't have that. What they do is, when somebody is, now some people might say, oh yeah, they're not going to respond to this, but this is a process. You get a letter, and this process also existed in the United States. I heard about it before. You get a letter, which is called the letter of deportation, and they tell you, okay, dude, your visa expired 6 months ago, 1 year, or I don't know how long. Okay, you need to go home. Okay, so we'll give you a couple weeks to go home. Okay, and then if you don't go home, then they try to look for you. Okay, and then when they find you, then you get deported. They literally take you and put you on the plane and send you home.
So that's the proper way to do it.
That's the proper way to do it. And it's no drama. It's no people busting through doors and all that stuff. And as a matter of fact, Obama, deported 3 million people. When did you ever see any agent on the street catching folks?
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody knows that Obama deported 3 million people. He's actually the president that deported the most people in the history.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, I knew that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But nobody saw agents on the street and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then when we're talking about the United States, they got the technology to track people down and take them home. They don't literally have to be driving on the street, causing accident, running out, catching people. Most of the people they catch is U.S. citizens. And that makes perfect sense, because if 97% of the people are legally, the people walking on the street, if 97% of them are legally in the United States, what are the odds that if you take a car randomly and you drive around, that you're actually going to catch, some illegals? That I don't work for them. I don't know inside information. I don't know when they drive around if they actually have information or who they're looking for. I don't know those details. But really, I really pray for whatever is going on in the United States right now, because it's very disruptive. And what we're talking about right now, I mean, with my brother spot, we help Black-owned businesses, with their visibility. We help them drive more business, but in an environment like this,
it's extremely disruptive.
It is disruptive like crazy, right? Because if you have a restaurant, you don't know when they're coming, and probably, breaking half of the items that you got in your restaurant, maybe to catch that one guy that may be a U.S. citizen, but he's a brown guy, or he's an African guy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he got a Jamaican accent. So now they're focused. I got an accent, right? So if I was working in the restaurant and ICE walk in, what are the odds they're gonna mess with me?
They're gonna detain you, and then Bobby Hemmett said a long time ago, those who heard of Bobby Hemmett said that America is gonna be concentration camps anyway. Which is crazy.
So I mean,
you never know, because you don't hear about those detainees. Really, you never know. So how do these policies impact Black Americans, Black immigrants, and Black families overall? What do you think?
So one thing is, in the midst of all of this happening, I hear conflicting information. Of course, I think one of those was when Nicole Renee Good got killed, right? Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not the type of person to believe to put an entire group of people inside of a box. I don't believe in that, But
good and bad in everybody.
Yeah, there was a lot of Black Americans even before this happened, that some of them were outraged at what happened, but some of them were basically saying, hey, you know what? It's a white woman that got killed. That ain't really my problem. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Not knowing that, listen, you don't support somebody necessarily because they're the same color as you. The reason why when George Floyd got killed, there was all types of people out on the street protesting, because it's not about who get killed. It's about our rights. All of us, right? Because if one person get killed, that means it's okay for you to get killed. And we know that Black people in general, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to our right being infringed, we're going to be number one in line.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what happens is, there's been a lot of discussions it's inside of now. I'm before I say this, I will first say, that I don't ever talk about matters related to Black Americans. Now, at some point in my life, I believed I was a Black American person, but somebody told me I'm not, and I should not talk about it, and I respect that. Okay, but related to what we're talking about here, you know, um, you have a lot of group in the past 5 years that came to prominence. You have ADOS, which is the descendant of slaves, American. You have FBA, Foundational Black Americans. You have Aboriginal Americans. You have a lot of groups, and what people don't realize is this. Okay, now all of these groups are claiming similar things, certain things, but one thing that they have in general, and this is a Black American group, which of course doesn't mean that all Black Americans are a part of those groups, right? But the general consensus that I'm getting is that they don't. First of all, they don't care about the plight of immigrants. For them, it's kind of like we need as many immigrants out as possible, right?
Well, they're acting like the white people, the poor white people. It's like they took on them.
I really do believe that.
You don't have to agree with me, but that's how they're acting.
Yeah, I think white supremacy actually support this. I actually saw Tucker Carlson, out of all people, basically support the foundation of Black Americans. And then you guys can go online and basically research it. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is,
go the division. Recognize the division.
They use this. So now what's going on right now is a lot of people, like actually a couple months ago, there was a whole debate about it was not a couple months, maybe it was 6 months ago, about a woman that about the essence. I think it was the essence stuff. There was a debate that started into a hair salon, and this woman, it was an African salon or something like this. I don't remember the detail, but it was basically African versus Black Americans, and Black Americans were saying basically they're going to boycott African businesses.
Let me ask you this, Willie. Was it as bad as that African American woman that told on the Jamaican restaurant?
See, it's right along those lines. It's like this Black American woman, basically called ICE on this Jamaican restaurant owner, right? And the thing is, what we don't realize is we actually, because as a unified people, all Black people, now everybody has their history. Myself, my family is from the French Caribbean, and part of my family is from Africa. Now, between the French Caribbean and Africa, in Central Africa, Cameroon, the history is different, right? But at the end of the day, when you see me, I have to tell you that this is my background. Otherwise, you will know. All you will see is I'm a Black person. And guess what? I travel a lot, right? I go, like last year, I told you, I was in Germany, and I come out of the airport, and 3 police officers, come and start asking me questions about what I'm doing in Germany, right? That's not because I'm quote unquote Black German it's because I'm Black, period. And what we need to realize as a Black community is that, we are better together, right? Okay. If you foundational Black American, great. Nobody disrespecting that. You see what I'm saying? Your history is your history. It's different than from my history, but it doesn't take away the fact that we're both Black, and we're both in the United States. We'll deal with the same issues. When I was younger in Atlanta, I got pulled over a bunch of times. You think they pulled me over because, I'm a Black immigrant, or, they pulled me over just like they pulled over any foundational Black American or Aboriginal. They look at us exactly the same way, right? So I think, and there's a lot of families actually in the US that are mixed, not mixed with white, but inside of the Black community, there are a lot, and my nieces are like that, right? Where you have a parent that comes from Africa, other parents come from the United States, or from Jamaica, or some other parts of the Caribbean, or from Europe, or there's a lot of mix like that going on in the United States right now. You know what I'm saying? And at a time like this is really not a time where you need to separate everything. And I do believe, like you were saying, that a lot of these ideologies come from the other side. You know what I'm saying? Because it separates us. You know what I'm saying? It separates us. And it's not only in the United States.
They put enforcement behind it, just like negative rappers.
Yeah.
Currency behind it, enforcement behind it. Like Karis One was saying, the most uneducated, no morals, just most jacked up amongst us. They will pull them up, and bless them.
I mean, this stuff is not going on only in the United States. Everywhere where Black people have the possibility of becoming empowered, they have to use this to break it apart. Like, a lot of people don't know France. For anybody who ever been to Paris, that's where I was born and raised as a child, right? It's a city with a huge Black population, okay? And you know what goes on there? It's a lot of Black Caribbeans. It's a lot of Africans. The Black Caribbeans have similar history to the United States, where, as in, they were enslaved by the French and so forth, right? Okay. And when they meet in Paris, you have the Africans, and they're basically, they have French names. And they feel like superior to the African. Now again, I am a product of those communities, so I'm not saying that all Caribbean people look down on Africans, or all Africans look down at Caribbean people. But they basically enforce the master's plan, because I will tell you, in the French Caribbean, Haitians have a lot of issues, and the crazy thing about it is that Haitians and people from Guadeloupe, Martinique, where my family is from, okay, we literally came off the same boat, because we were all under the French French government, right? We were all enslaved under the French government. So, so the fact that we literally came off the same boat, and when they tried to immigrate to the French Caribbean, the ICE officer. Well, we don't call them ICE in the Caribbean, but they enforce immigration. They are a lot harder on their fellow Black person who has very similar culture to them. They're a lot harder on them. And this is what's going on in the United States, where Black Americans really want to be disassociated from the rest of the Black people. And
thinking that they're going to get total different treatment.
That's the thing, because a lot of them agree with what ICE is doing specifically for that. You see what I'm saying? But trust me, unity is what will actually make it better for all of us.
But it's going to be hard to get that through, especially through my Aboriginal American Indian brothers and sisters, because a lot of them never even been out the United States. The most untraveled human beings, period, white, Black, it's Americans. Why do you think Americans are so ignorant? We don't travel.
Well,
we don't travel a lot.
Travel plays a role. But I really think
travel plays a big role.
Media in the United States is a strong.
It's wicked. It's wicked.
And it's pushing all those things, because let me tell you something. Okay, I've been on Clubhouse. Okay, some time ago. I don't go there because let me tell you something. As soon as I open up my mouth with this accent, okay, I can't say shit. Okay, it's because. Just for me say, hello guys, how you doing? Boom, I'm judged right there.
Where are you from?
Go back to Africa. Go back to Africa. They're not even where you from. Go back to Africa, right? You see what I'm saying? Stuff like that, right? So so I'm like, okay, I mean, you can have it. You can have it. That's all good. that doesn't hurt my feeling, because actually at the end of the day, man, I spend a lot of my time giving back to the Black community. I'm working on Afrobeats World.
You
And
definitely
my
help us
brother
here
Spot.
on the Pod. I appreciate you with the whole team. Really, goddamn, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no, because the thing is, at the end of the day, even if there's hate inside of the community and stuff like that, for me, it's like I just gotta do what I gotta do. You see what I'm saying? I'm putting my time and my dollar there, and at times like this, we support a lot of black-owned businesses that they can call themselves whatever, foundational Black, Jamaican, African, whichever. We support all of them. You see what I'm saying? So I don't get my feelings hurt, because I'm looking at the big picture, right? The big picture is the more Black-owned businesses actually succeed online, the higher chances that as a community we will thrive. And we
Because
will thrive so much.
because our people don't understand, we're in America, we have more opportunities than a lot of Black people in Africa do. Infrastructure. So with a lot of the so-called African Americans, FBA, whatever you want to be called, God damn, it's like we have the opportunity to make money and come into the new world order.
Oh yeah, there's definitely new world order, and in the new world order, one thing that's not new about it is that as a Black person, you will also be marginalized inside of the new world order, and this is why we're talking about this, because in order for us to actually not be marginalized, we need to stick together. I will tell you something that I found out recently. Okay, so I was reading about, I wanted to know, I couldn't remember, was it the 14th or the 15th Amendment that gave U.S. citizenship to Black people, right? Okay, and then the Constitution, after the 13th Amendment, they came, 13th Amendment gave Emancipation Proclamation, for Black people. But then after that, what were Black people? Were they U.S. citizens or whatever? So they actually, wrote an amendment specifically to say, okay, if you're born in the United States, okay, you are a U.S. citizen, no questions asked. Okay. And that amendment was written specifically to protect the Black community, right? Okay, because at that time there was a serious conversation about sending Black people back to Africa. Now, the funny thing about that is that not all Black people that were in the United States were from Africa. You see what I'm saying? So they were talking about sending it back. Now, once that law came into effect, which was in 1868 or 1870, one of those two, but it was some time ago. Now, what all Black people know in the United States is Black people were given the right to vote in 1965. That's what I always thought, right? Okay, 1965, Black people can vote. Okay, and it was a law called the Voting Right Act. But I was just like, hey, you know what? They can take away that from us anytime, because it's not even in this Constitution. This is just an act, right? Come to find out, in 1868 or 1870, one of those two, okay, when Black people were made U.S. citizens, at that time, women could not vote. Women could not vote until the 19th Amendment in 1920, okay? But at the time when they made Black men U.S. citizens, they were actually allowed to vote. In 1870, we'll say 1870, right? But they couldn't vote until 1965. And what that tells me is that, listen, if you don't have any kind of unity, if your community is not powerful enough, they are able to, take away your right, even though it's law, for 95 years.
Ooh.
Because a lot of Black Americans are basically saying, hey, I'm from here, nothing's going to happen, whatever. But if they were allowed to stop you from voting for 95 years, and let me tell you,
and trust me, they're going to try
hard.
The law can be on the books, but they can also break the law, just like ICE is breaking the law in a lot of cases. I'm not no lawyer. I'm not no, I don't have the science to how law enforcement is supposed to be done. But a lot of what I'm seeing, like this murder that just happened, this dude who got shot while pinned on the ground, with no weapons, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's legal. I don't think so. Right? So the thing is, you really need unity with all of these other people in order for, for your right to be respected, because they've already infringed on your right. People saying sometimes that they can't, they can't do that anymore. That was the past. Well, guess what? History repeats itself. You know what I'm saying? So if you break down the Black community in little small groups, right? So the Africans here, the West Indian here, the Black Europeans here, the Black Canadians here. So those groups now become really small groups, and you don't have as much power in order to make sure your rights are respected, right?
You're right.
Because let me tell you something. If the whole entire world didn't come out for George Floyd, okay, well,
nothing would have happened.
Before George Floyd, a bunch of Black men got killed. They're still getting killed, but I feel like it's a little bit less because people came out.
No, it slowed down.
And
then they start picking on other people.
So you need all the people you want in your corner. Right? Because a lot of people talking about reparations. They don't want the Africans to get reparation. They don't want. But one thing you got to think about, okay? Slavery in the United States was started by the British. You think the British were only operating in the United States? They were operating in the Caribbean. They were operating even in Asia. They were operating. You see what I'm saying?
Even in India, they were operating because they brought them to the Caribbean islands.
There you go. They're operating. So it's the same. It's all the same people. It doesn't matter that we were enslaved. Now, let me tell you, like, my family came from, French islands, right? Okay. Now, in the French islands, it was the French. But you think the French and the British was not cooperating? They're like, we doing this new thing for the slaves. That works good. Okay, well, check it out. This is what they were doing.
I'm laughing, but it makes people thinking.
You think the Portuguese were not doing the same? Let me tell you something. You can go to the auction houses in Virginia, and you can go to auction house in Salvador de Bahia in Brazil. Okay, and let me tell you something. Very similar looking. They're doing the same exact thing. Yeah. So, but we talking about a new world order now, because
why do you think a lot of the Blacks are supporting life?
They're supporting.
So why do you think a lot of the Blacks, not a lot of the Blacks, a good amount of Black Americans, Aboriginals, Moors, or whatever, are supporting life? Like, really?
Well, really what it is this, right? It's like,
and one in immigrants.
I think Malcolm X.
Great.
Malcolm X mentioned some of these stuff I'm about to say. I cannot remember the exact mention, but it's kind of like, until the issues come and knock on your door, you don't give a damn. You feel like you're separated from the issue. But specifically for Black American, this is why I mentioned about their rights to vote being denied for 95 years. I never knew that Black people could vote in 1870. Who knew? Like, a lot of Black people don't even know that. You see what I'm saying? And then what happened? Well, guess what? What happened is they created all kinds of, reasons why black people can't vote. They say they can't read. They did the whole ID stuff. You know what I'm saying? They did all kinds of stuff, right? Then it was Jim Crow, right? It was Jim Crow. How long did Jim Crow go for? It was from Jim Crow started like in late 1800s, all the way up until the 1960s. That's 70 years. So and you're right.
Jim Crow.
And that's the thing, and your rights, will be infringed if you don't have a unified community,
And a lot of our people in America don't understand that. A lot of these groups, Aboriginal American Indians, in all the groups that are and like, get them out of here. Everybody, including like Jamaicans, Africans. Like you said, if we're not united, we're not going to have any of power, because once all that is finished, what's going to happen is that they're going to start coming after us. And then the other people going to be like, why should I fight for them?
No, that's exactly what's happening. But the whole reason we even have a conversation about New World Order is because there's something happening in the black business community right now that should really open up the eyes of all black business people in the United States. So I started Afrobiz .ca in Canada in 2017, at the end of 2017, and as soon as I got started, I started getting messages from people in the United States and UK, basically saying, "Yo, this is real cool, man. Can you bring that over?" Okay, and unknowingly, obviously, it was a natural process to basically expand into the United States from the Canadian perspective, right? All Canadian business, this is how you succeeded, when you've basically expanded into the US, right? Okay, because it's a big market and all this stuff, right? So we eventually also expanded to UK, and one of the ways that we make money on Afrobees is through affiliate marketing, right? Okay, and you had all these businesses, especially around the 2020, the George Floyd, that whole thing. You had basically black-owned businesses in Canada that were getting a bunch of Americans to buy from them, and then you were getting businesses in UK, people were buying from businesses in UK and so forth. So I was just like, man, this is like mind blowing, and around that time, I decided that, listen, we're going to expand this to France. We're going to expand this to Germany, to all of Africa, to the Caribbean, to South America, wherever, there are large black communities, because this is a cool way that we can exchange and actually create our own economy. And it's possible because of the internet, and because of the internet. And then we're seeing all the stuff that's playing, US is fighting with Canada and stuff like that, and we're kind of like caught between all of that, right? But I think that we need to watch that a little closer, because I think one of the ways for black-owned business to thrive moving forward is definitely expanding the business internationally, because it's possible. Because most black-owned businesses are local businesses, but we know the money, where it's at. Microsoft can't be Microsoft unless it's everywhere in the world. Google can't be Google unless it's everywhere in the world, right? You see what I'm saying? So we have to pay attention to what's going on. For example, like between Canada and United States right now, it's unfortunate what's happening, and a lot of black-owned businesses in Canada are affected by this, because guess what? They can't ship their product to the United States because they have to pay tariffs. Yeah, I mean, the customers have to pay tariffs. So you know, we already have businesses that are, you know, uh, I mean, our businesses are at risk already in normal business conditions of, you know, closing down, going out of business, and now you have these issues. Okay, also for Black American business trying to expand. Think about, you know, how people view the United States outside of the United States, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you what my master chief told me. He's in Southeast Asia, in Thailand. He said that white people, due to like how Trump is acting and what he's, you know, doing out here, a lot of whites aren't as popular in Southeast Asia anymore because of all the things that Trump is doing. And now blacks are even like accepted. So if we start kicking them out and going for ICE and kicking out people from Thailand that are here and United States, Filipinos. I don't know about the Latinos. I haven't been to Colombia and Brazil in a long time. But what I'm saying is, start acting like them and like, hey, get them out of here and all that. Most of them are employees doing the jobs that we don't want to do. We're going to be looked at negative as people that look like Trump. And black people don't understand that.
And you know, as a community, we have to support the people that are, you know, actually allow you to expand that way, because a lot of the success of white-owned business is cross-border, is internationally. As a matter of fact, the black people that are successful, you know, in the United States is because of international success. It's because they can go to Europe and, you know, have a show and people will pay for it in Europe, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's because of that. So we have to support, because this is one of the ways for the black community to grow. And then we have to know that there are other black communities outside of the US that are looking at the Black American community and what they do, you know, because they're influential, right? And they're influential for multiple reasons, because they're also, you know, the richest group of black people on the planet.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. But they can expand that influence. So now, you know, me personally, I don't like to, you know, take sides on parties and stuff like that. But, you know, what Trump is doing right now is hindering black people to expand internationally. Because they can't expand internationally because so many tariffs and so many roadblocks and stuff like that. But in the same token, while they're doing that, well, guess what? You know, it's like the other businesses are allowed to do it. You see what I'm saying? When you go to France, you will see a lot of American business now owned by black folks. You know, so one of the ways that we can actually, you know, thrive, we have to support people that support that whole global expansion, like a way to expand your business globally, basically, right? That is one of the ways. And let me tell you, you have a lot of advantages inside of North America to expand, because the internet infrastructure is excellent, right? For the most part, you know. But you have options. You can do satellite internet. You have a lot of options where other places don't have, right? You know, I was just talking about to somebody earlier, you know, and it's a friend of mine, born in the United States, but his family's from Ghana, and he was talking about, you know, going back to Africa. You know what I'm saying? And he was trying to convince me that Africa is great. I said, well, I'm pretty sure Africa is great, but what I do know about Africa is they don't got the infrastructure. You see what I'm saying? They don't got the infrastructure. So you want to work online from Africa. A lot of places the internet don't work. And he was agreeing.
I mean, I was in Ghana. I don't know how it is now. It was like 5 hours. Right. And that was like every other day. Yeah. It was crazy.
they have these type of issues that in the United States you don't have. So as a black-owned businesses, man, you can, you have a lot of opportunity to expand. And me personally, I lean conservative because as a business person, you know what I'm saying, I want a government that allows me to pay as little taxes as possible and that kind of stuff. However, from the moment that you are blocking me from expanding, that's a problem for me. I'm not going to support any government that does that, because that is one of the ways that some of these people really got rich. When you talk about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, is because they are allowed to take their business anywhere they want in the world.
And then, I really would like you've been teaching a lot of us numbers game out here. And if you're multiplying all over the planet, like let's say you have a website that's selling just great scented soaps, handmade soap, and over the years, your SEO team, you're averaging like 30,000 a month. You're gonna make money, a lot of money, because it was based on 1%, and you have 30,000 people visiting your website, and on 1%, what is that? 3,000 a month. Right. That's like 3,000 people buying your product. Your product and handmade soap maybe $30. Well, not that much. Not that much. $15 a soap. That's
people need soap everywhere. And I will tell you a real story here. I'm dealing with a company right now based out of Montreal, Canada. Okay. And they have basically created a line of product for men who have bumps, right? With natural products, right? When you shave,
not Korean made.
Not Korean made. This is black owned. But guess what? Right now, they can't sell their product in the United States because of what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So they're starting here, but originally when we started working on that project, okay, they had planned to expand into the US, where now, it's a little bit up in the air, right? And it's very unfortunate. Now they will, sell their products, in Canada, in the Caribbean, in UK, but what that does is for Black Americans, their opportunity to expand, because just like other Black entrepreneurs cannot expand into the US now, with all of everything that's going on right now, it's very hard for people to expand outside the US. So I don't think we should support we should support government or support what's going on right now. So in this new world order, we really need to, first of all, we need a stable political environment, and we really need that in the community, in the Black community, because we're at the point where there are a lot of Black entrepreneurs that are understanding what's going on, and they want to expand outside of the US,
Well, let me ask you this. What are get confronted by the bougie Africans that come here, and they've never been African like me and don't understand. Those are those bougie Africans that look down upon their people. Even I've been to Ghana, and those people, they're bougie. They're bougie anywhere. Think they're better than any. And they have business. And they come to America. And Black people in America think that that's how Africans are. And it's not true. You got to travel to Africa, some countries, to see like they have bougie people just like here in America. They have ninjas just like here in America, and they have Black people that are just cool people. That's why you were saying earlier, you can't just say one thing is one thing. How did you put it, Willie?
Well, basically, you can't put all people in one basket or in one box, because even, listen, my family, we're five siblings. So I have 3 sisters and a brother, okay? And trust me, we're all so different from each other, right? I'm the only entrepreneur in my family, right? Yeah, because like my sisters are very like job that kind of stuff, like security and all that stuff. My brother is intellectual. When he was living with me when he was a teenager, I was always wondering, because I was just like, if I was 15 years old and was living with my big brother, I'll go nuts. I'll do all kinds of things, right? I'm not in my parents' house. My brother, man, he goes to school. He has all these activity. He comes home. He studies. I don't have to tell him nothing. You see what I'm saying? So we all very different people. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that one person, is like, so you basically, you can't come and put like me and my siblings, you can't come and put all of us in the same box and we're siblings. You see what I'm saying? So now you're going to take a whole entire community, and say, oh, they're all scammers. Oh, they're all thieves. Oh, they're all. Now, don't get me wrong. There are certain things you cannot ignore. I've lived in Atlanta. Okay. There's a lot of black people that are involved in, crime. All kinds of crime, right? You can't deny that. You can't deny that. However, I will not say all Black Americans are involved in crime. That's crazy. Because at the same time that there are Black people in Atlanta committing crime, guess what? Mayor of Atlanta is Black. What does that make the mayor? Right? You see what I'm saying? You go to the hospital, you see doctors everywhere, that are Black. What about these doctors? Are they also criminals? You know what I'm saying? Like, you go and you see, you go to McDonald's.
Brother, I'm gonna be straight up. Because a lot of my people here, they pick up bad habits for white people. And I'm listening to that. Even though I'm from Los Angeles, it's a different type of white person. And our mentalities are kind of like them.
Right.
If the hoodie, we have a hoodie mentality like them. Like as in the poor white money and all that. But crack came in the community, and then the gang banging. The gang banging was more peaceful. When the crack came, the blocks started making like 20,000 a week. Those blocks, they turned the blood and Crips and they fighting over the blocks. That's what people don't understand. Also, but the South white boy is totally different. And I see how Black people in the South has got their habits. Oh, it's only us here. We're the most important in the world. We're foundational Black. We're Aboriginal American Indian. Africans, we don't like them. Jamaicans, it's Carib. That tripping. We just all of a sudden. I'm a Baptist. You gotta stop the gang banging and just come together. Like, I get mad to my core. You don't ever hear like white people from Europe saying that. You know what? I'm a German American. Hey, I'm a Norwegian American. They're white.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. They understand it. And then even though they have their ignorant whites, a lot of Blacks don't understand. They get shunned by the other whites. The other whites don't want to be around them. Those are their ninjas. And Trump knows how to operate all that and make it think like he's running them. And he's probably putting them in the ice.
Well, let's not remember that
our people don't really understand. They're being too emotional. We all have to stand together because, like you said earlier, they all look at us the same way. It's a person right now in the Middle East, because I've been there when I was in the Navy, and in Ghana or Nigeria, and I'm 100% American. Everywhere.
Yeah.
And black people not hair grease in my hair. And that's why we're saying, no, that was a mulatto person that you want to be. Be proud of your hair. It's thick. We have like our hair is not on any animal on this planet. A Japanese man told me that when I was in Japan. You guys are special. You're authentic human beings. Your hair is not on any animal on this planet. You have no Neanderthal in you. If you got the straight stuff, you got some Neanderthal in you. And he said he had some. Because that's where you get that fur from. I never forgot that. I learned that in traveling, drinking some goddamn sake.
Yeah.
And black people don't understand. They always want to be the best. You're Jamaica, and then the brothers here, we the best. We make the best music. If we was the best, we wouldn't be in this predicament.
Yep.
Get out the fairy tale. I could talk to people. I could do this. I could visualize this. I could read the tarot card. Put in the goddamn word. Live with my brother Spot. Learn how to sell products and make money online before you get left behind.
That's it. And that's what I was going to tell you. Can you tell the people watching, how powerful to have a digital presence and what my brother Spot is doing to make sure that that's something that's an opportunity for just anybody who wants it.
It's an opportunity because it helps me pay my fucking bills, and no one knows my ethnicity. If the website is great and well put together by this team, and you have great product or you have great service, people they can't even judge you. They don't know who you are. And you make passive income. And it feels good. It feels hardly not to do anything. And you're making money damn near every day. And then you can work a job. And then you're combating inflation. What's the matter with y'all? You got some goddamn free Facebook and shit. I got a website on Facebook or a website on IG. You gotta spend some fucking money like me. Invest in yourself. We not sexy. We're not selling the entertainment stuff. Every goddamn thing I see on goddamn Facebook every day is talking about entertainment. Bump them. He who pays you controls you. Jewish people control all our artists.
Think about censorship.
Our leaders. It can't be our foundation. Our foundation has to be born. God damn, man. I don't get it, man.
No, but the thing is, like you're saying, if you are on some of these platforms like Facebook, Instagram. Now, don't get me wrong. You can use these platforms to help brand your business. Okay. However, you have to own the home of your business. Okay. We've talked in the past about how Facebook pages are getting, shut down unexpectedly by Facebook, Instagram account, YouTube channel, that kind of stuff. Okay. And then when that happens, then where do people go to do business with you? First of all, they cannot do business with you on these platforms. Right. Because how would you accept payments, or how would you, grow your visibility, right?
Or okay. every time I get on YouTube, almost half. But I will tell you something. Once you guys build me, once I say more and more money, and I get my subscription for Jay Hadwin, keep all that. And you put me in front of everybody. and then I could charge $10 subscription-based platform, and then next thing you know, I got only 200 people loving me. Let's say in about 8 months, about 200 people paying $10 a month. That's $2,000, and all I got to do is get on once a day and just say hello, or showing some stuff in Atlanta, or traveling all the parts and make $1,000 a month, and then it grows and grows and grows.
And this is not theory; it's already happening, right? You know. So just to give you an idea, my brother Spot is getting about 1,000 visits on its website monthly.
Right.
These visits are organic visit, and it's been growing, and they probably, will reach 2,000 very soon. Okay. How do we know this? Because Afrobiz is getting over 30,000 visits a month. Okay.
That's right.
And it's bringing in, amazing income, that you can make online, without like he was saying, you can keep your job and you can just have a system going. You know what I'm saying? What we're doing at my brother's spot is I have built thousands of websites for thousands of businesses. And on top of the web developing side, I also do business consulting because I have worked in the financial industry for 20 years. So I use all of that stuff to help guide Black-owned business down the right track. So we're creating product, we're creating solutions, to allow Black people to not only open your business so you can grow in your local community, but we give you an opportunity to expand because when people are looking for you, Google search, or whether they go to Chat GPT, Gemini, when they talk to their phone, it will mention you just because the platform and the type of servers and stuff like that we build your stuff on, right? So it's really powerful. In 2026, if you want to build a business, you're really going to need to be especially as a Black-owned business, to come talk to my brother spot, because we are doing this at personally. I have my own clients and stuff like that. A lot of stuff I'm doing for the Black community is pro bono. Is just to help out. Okay, and some people don't understand that because they think everything that a Black person should be doing, it has to be money related. Not necessarily, because if I already make money in my other business, and guess what? I don't only help Black people. I help all kinds of businesses, right? But what I see is, the benefits of the work that I do. A lot of those benefits go to other communities. So that's why we're doing this, so that we can give, the same opportunity, to our own community, and hope that over time, we completely understand, the power of what we're doing, right? And then moving forward, we really hope that we have the platform right now, my brother spot, but we really hope that this is just a way for a business to get started. After that, we just want to see Black-owned business thrive. You don't have to, stay even working with us, but we want to make sure that, we give you everything that you need to get started.
Yeah, get used to it. Get used to it. For all people, get used to it. And this brother right here is for free.
Oh yeah,
and really help me with my business and what I can do, like how to form my LLC. He consults with the other clients, and there's other people that can help also. We have clients like Mike, the one. I mean, Mike has a consulting firm. The one has a sauce game. Very delicious barbecue and salad dressings. Oh my god! And then we have another guy on roofing. They located in Conyers, Georgia, and all their websites are getting more activity because of NDS. Go ahead, Will.
Yep, and they can easily see it through their analytics. We show you exactly where you can go and see, where the traffic is coming from and stuff like that. And then people always notice that once they list their business on my brother's spot, then the traffic goes up because we already have a lot of traffic. That 1,000 people that come on the website, they click on the businesses, and so forth, right? So that being said, having a digital presence of whatever business that you want to build, for as little as $75 a month, we'll build your custom website, and this is not no Wix or GoDaddy type stuff. This is custom, and this is gonna rank. And you can go and set up your account on Google Search Console. You can open an account at Google Analytics, where you can actually see what this does for you. You can actually see that people are searching for your business and finding it. Okay, you can actually go on ChatGPT and say, "Hey, ChatGPT, I'm looking for a business in this industry," and you can see your business pop up on the list that ChatGPT, suggests. You can talk to your phone on Gemini. You can say, "Hey, Gemini, what are the top 5 businesses, in Atlanta, or top 5 businesses in Chicago, in Philadelphia?" And you can see your business pop up in there, right? Okay, and for $75 custom. Now, it's not because it's to make money. It's to give you the opportunity to make money. Is to give you the opportunity to stand in front. People go now. They have GoDaddy has GoDaddy and Wix. They have something like with AI, you can build your own website. What they're not telling you is that this is just another gimmick so they can get paid. Okay, there are some.
They know how we think.
Yeah.
If they can get it at like $39.99, $49.99, and then a bad experience after about a year and say, "Hey, this is my website." The only people that's visiting are people I tell.
Maybe some of these people get like five visits a month. 5 visits a month. And let me tell you this: if you don't believe me, if you have a Wix or a GoDaddy website, you do have analytics software for those websites. Go and see how many people visit your website, right?
Don't be afraid. Look into it.
Yeah, and you can see what we're doing now. We're saying this right now because with everything that we talked about and what ICE is doing and the environment that we're in right now and how the world is like changing and stuff like that, this is the time when you actually have to consider partnering with some serious people, okay, that are going to help you go down the right path. And not only that, we're just saying that, we have the website. You can check out afrobeatsworld.com. You can check out mybrotherspot.com. The websites already exist, and there's already thousands of people. Like I told you on afrobeatsworld.com, we have 30,000 people visit every month. Day in, day out. Doesn't even matter what goes on. We have the traffic. That traffic
is your business on AfroBizWorld.com and visibility.
Right. And it helps your visibility grow. And my brother's spot, by the way, is only 1 year. It's not even 1 year old yet. I think it's 10 months. 10 months.
11 months.
Something like that, right? So and it's grown a lot, and it's going to continue to grow, and it's going to continue to grow because we are encouraging Black-owned businesses not just to just say I'm in business, but we want to show you actually how you can actually be in business for real, and drive the traffic that's needed for you to make an income.
Because when we our jobs in about 5 years, AI is going to get wicked.
It's going to be before that.
Yeah. Listen. I feel you.
Yeah.
But See, I'm passionate. I want our people to be okay because when I get fired from my job, if AI takes certain sectors or whatever they're taking, and my job gets taken, I still have my websites. Still have money coming in.
Well, talking about that, what are some of the mistakes that you think that Black-owned businesses are making in 2026?
Where they're trying to get brick and mortars. Like I was trying to talk to a brother, and he set up his herbal stuff in a store. And I was like, just go 100% online. So to answer your question, I don't really think, and I'm not hating, I don't think he's doing too well. And now he has all these deals with his business partner, and all they had to do is have a couple servers and sell their product and have visibility. Like we took my two websites took a 58% dip. I'm still in business. It doesn't harm me as much. I'm not paying utilities. I'm not paying a lease. You know, I don't have to worry about theft. It's a lot of things you don't have to worry about. No one don't know that I'm Black or average. A lot of things that it's just Willie. It's amazing. It's online business. And just wake up and then you have some money in your account. It may not be a lot, but it adds up. And it's getting better and better as the years go.
Yeah, because as your website, gets older and gets with Google, it builds its reputation with Google and stuff like that. Google is gonna trust your website more and more and push it more towards the top. So you're planting a seed, that will grow. And you are the sole owner of that. You don't have no censorship. It's like, oh yeah, this, that. We're gonna have to shut it down. None of that stuff, right? And as you were saying earlier, if you have a subscription platform, even if in the beginning you recruit, 2 people a month that pay you $20, that's $20. But if you do 2 people a month, after a year, okay, you probably after a year you're probably getting 10 people a month. So now you're probably making already $600, $700, $800 a month. You know what I'm saying? And if your website costs you $75, you well ahead. That's money that can go towards your car payment. And guess what? When you actually make more money than you spend, this is when you actually start to really.
It feels really good
to grow your business, right? You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time, people can't grow their business because they're not making any money at all. They cannot be found. Listen, the other day I couldn't believe it. Right? I was walking near my house, and somebody, a Black person, hand me a flyer. Hey man, check out my business, dude. It's 2026. Why are you doing flyers? You know what I'm saying?
When I was coming off the freeway in Midtown, I saw one of the water boys at the end of summer. And he was like, "Hey man, some water and all that." I was like, "You don't even give me water. Here's a dollar. Basically, just hear me out. What I have to say." He said, "Yeah, bro, what you have to say?" I was like, if you have an online business, you have water online. If you get it wholesale where you at, you could just sell it online. And say you have a sale and put it on your website and call it something. Your domain name, do all kind of stuff. You got art there, you can sell all kind of stuff. You can marketplace.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all based if your website is well built. And I know everybody's saying AI, whatever, can build my website, stuff like that. Let's remember that, web designers are not, like, a lot of them are using AI as well. So who do you think is going to, build the better website? A web designer that uses AI, or you that uses AI, right? You know what I'm saying? So you really want to make sure that if you're going to be in business, focus on what you know how to do best and let the professionals and the people that are already in that space to build you something good. Okay. So, so that's a business tip that I would say. Just stay in your lane, do what you do best. Okay, if you're if you're selling Jamaican food and you know how to cook, do that. Don't go and try to build a website, because what are you doing? You a Jamaican food cook. What are you doing building a website, right? Okay. Now, you can do that. You can learn how to build on the side. It's not impossible to learn and all that stuff. But in business, you don't want to be everything in your business, because you're not going to succeed that way. If your business is making food, you can focus on that. If it's making hair, you can focus on that, and you will see that your clients are going to be, better satisfied, what I'm saying, of the service. But if you try to be everything, if you try to be the tax person, the web designer, you try to be customer service, you try to be all that stuff at the same time, most of the time you're not going to succeed. You're going to be exhausted. So that's one thing that I one of the tip I recommend, especially in the web space and SEO and so forth. You really want to get with my brother spot, so that we can help you, go to the next step.
So Willie, check this
out.
Before we get off, this off a lot of our viewers.
What's that?
Let's bounce this off a lot of our viewers, because we may have that are artists, musical artists, Christian platforms, musical artists, that's time on IG, HBO time on Spotify. We could build you a subscription platform and you can make your own money, man. People who have record labels, that's not signed to the man, and you're, what do they call it? Unsigned. What do they call it? When you have your own record label? No, when you have your own record label, I forget what they call it. Anyway, it's your record label, and you have artists. You should get a subscription platform. You got 3,000 people.
A lot of people go to Spotify and Apple Music, and people go there because they don't know where else to go. They just don't know where else to go. But what I will tell you is this, okay? If you put your music, like, this is real conversation here, right? If you put your music on Spotify, you are not Jay-Z, you're not Beyonce. You put your music on Spotify, okay? And I've met people that are talented that put the music on there. I go there to listen to the music. Now, I give Spotify $14.99 a month, right? Okay, so every month they get $14.99. I go listen to your music. How much do you get? Nothing. Because guess what?
You know how much you got for a billion stream? $40,000.
And that's the thing. You really don't get nothing, because guess what? It's going to be 3,000 people maybe who listen to your music. For 3,000 listens, you get nothing. When you can actually do it completely different. You can have your own platform, okay, where people go to listen to your music. So now the $14.99 that is paid to Spotify can be paid directly to you. Okay, right. And you can do it for you and your artist and other artists.
You could be a yoga instructor with a beautiful body.
Yeah, you could be your own. You could be your own platform and get paid. Right. And the thing is, we don't understand that. everything we do, we want to just go to the big platforms because we think that that's where we're going to be seen. No, visibility is not, you don't, in order for
Why
you to
would
be
you go to
visible,
a saturated place?
that's the thing. You cannot be visible in the crowd. You have to be visible outside of a crowd. So when somebody go to ChatGPT and somebody says, for example, ChatGPT, hey, I want to listen to a new artist on Spotify. Can you give me a suggestion? What are the odds that you are going to be the suggested artist? Zero. However, if you are ranking, your platform is ranking, and you're based out of Atlanta, for example, okay, and somebody go and ask, ChatGPT, what are some of the platforms in Atlanta where I can listen to new artists? There is a good chance that your platform will show up there. And you can do this for yourself and a bunch of other artists. And these artists, instead of paying them peanuts, you can actually pay them $1 or $2 a month based on subscriptions that are coming in, right? Where they can make a lot more money, because now if you have 3,000 people to visit your website, well, guess what? You're probably making $3,000 a month. You understand? So we have to look at this in a different way. So a lot of these big website, big platform are not looking out for you. They're just trying to make some money. Wix is not looking out for you. Listen, if you don't believe me, find a Wix website that is ranking on the first page of Google and let us know. If you find a Wix website that's ranking on the first page of Google, let us know. Okay? I haven't found any so far. Okay? Found a GoDaddy site that's ranking on the first page of Google. You won't find it because these people are into just getting whatever money. Now, whatever money you're going to give them. Now, if you want to make, a website for your family members to see the pictures that you guys took at Christmas, you can do that on Wix. It's all good. Because this is, the goal of this is not for the traffic to come in and all that stuff. But if you want to do business and actually make money and actually set up payment systems and all kinds of stuff on your website, please don't go to these platforms. And I'm not saying that because I think that Wix is bad. You know what I'm saying? It serves its purpose. But in business, you wouldn't go to Wix. You can go to Wix. You can want to build a website. You got married. You want to build a website where people go and they're going to give you, some money, or, they're going that kind of stuff. You can use Wix for that. But if you're going to be in business, you definitely don't want to use this platform. You want to do something that's a lot more professional. Something came in. What was that about?
Well, I just hit because I'm very familiar with this private chat, and I hit it back. Yeah, because normally I get comments on my lives, but tonight we're not even getting any comments, and I'm wondering if we have to comment because it works differently with StreamYard.
Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so that's pretty much everything that we want to share with you today. Thank you, Jay, for inviting me again. It's always a pleasure. We should do this more often, man.
Man, we busy. Every time we talk, we doing jobs or whatever. But yeah, we need to.
Yeah. And then for anybody, feel free to go to mybrothasspot.com. You can subscribe your business, list your business on the website. You can also, start your online presence.
Get
we can help you with that. And we are also open to just have a consultation. It doesn't cost anything, actually. You can just contact us and let us know what you're trying to do. But the really cool thing is that whatever you are trying to do in business, first of all, we will support it because we want to see more Black entrepreneurs actually moving forward in this business world, in this new world order, because things are changing fast, and you know, and we want to help you navigate through everything that's going on. Myself, I live in Toronto, I live in Canada, you know, but I make money in France, I make money in UK, I make money in Australia, I make money in the United States and in Canada, of course, because I understand, you know, the power of you know, get your brand started and to think bigger, that not to just operate in your city, but whatever you offer, you know, whether it be a service or product, you can actually expand it much, you know, to a much bigger audience, you know. So we would love to be able to, you know, meet you and talk to you about this. And we haven't had one of those lives in a minute, but you know, but we would love to see you here too and participate in a conversation with us. We talk about current events and we talk about how that affects the Black community, and we also talk about issues inside of the Black community that stops us from, you know, being as good as we can.
Mm-hmm. And most definitely, Willie and his team will assist you when you sign up. I mean, list your business on AfroBizWorld.com or MyBrothasPod.com. We will definitely help you start your online business the right way. Willie, thank you so much for coming out tonight.
I mean, I had no choice. It's like 25 inches of snow, so
That's the only way I got you.
Yeah, man. So
you busy,
yeah, but
man.
yeah, it's always a pleasure, man. And for everybody who took the time to listen to us, thank you for stopping by and you know, and just listening to what we have to say.
And sorry I yelled at you guys, but I'm just
all right, Jay.
All right, you guys. All right, Will.